Welcome back. So in the last video, we made our way from Moonhan to the Dragonhorn Tower, and then ultimately to Rippleport, or if you've played the old versions, I think it used to be called Leonport. At the end of that video, we went ahead and rescued the boatkeeper's granddaughter, and he has bestowed upon us the boat. So with that, we can actually travel all over the world. From here on out, the game really lets you go almost in any order you want. However, to avoid getting overwhelmed by, overly powerful monsters or some of the longer caves, I'm just going to follow a standard route. And that starts with actually making our way to the world of Dragon Quest I. And so that's where we're actually going to go in this video. We're going to go over to Alefgard, we're going to go see the old Tantegel Castle, and ultimately we're going to make our way through the Dragonlords Castle. So if you talk to a couple of the people here in town, this guy here is going to tell you that Tantegel is not too far to the east. However, the king has gone missing. Again, telling us that Tantegel is off to the east. One of the things that is unfortunate is that in the last 100 years, the kingdom really has fallen. And in this game, they actually shrunk the land of Alefgard drastically. There's really only Tantegel Castle, Dragonlords Castle, and then a shrine. But since the last video, I did go ahead, level up a whole bunch, primarily looking to get a whole bunch of gold. I upgraded everyone to the Cloak of Evasion. If I wanted to, the next step would have been getting the Princess of Moonbrook, the Wizard Staff, just so I could use that as an item in battle, instead of having to cast the Whoosh spell and use all of my MP that way. I will say that by the end of this video, we should actually have a new weapon for both the Prince of Canuck and the Prince of Midenhall or Laurasia, including a certain legendary weapon from the first game, so I'm really excited about that. But before we set out for Tantegel, if you come over here through the silver door, you find out that there is somewhere a vessel that sank, and now there's just this sunken treasure somewhere out in the open ocean. And then we're going to find more about that in Tantegel Castle. So just know that at some point in time we're going to go treasure hunting in the middle of the ocean, but for now we're just going to head to that continent to the east. We're going to make our way into the middle of that continent where you can see those shining dots, and that's where Tantegel Castle is. Thankfully, we can just take the boat straight up the canal. So I'm actually going to wrap around the southern tip of the continent here, go past the old Cantlin or Mercado, and just make my way up directly to the castle. Again, they really shrank down the continent as a whole. There is just that one shrine in the southwest corner. We will have to come back for another legendary item later on in the game. Otherwise, they had the cave to Rimuldar. Unfortunately, Rimuldar has been removed, as has Cantlin and Mercado. If you saw there, Rimuldar was just a patch of trees. So this is actually our first battle in the water, and primarily we're going to find these Drac Mages, the Murlusk, and then some Hawkman monsters. Main thing to know is that the Murlusks can put you to sleep, so that's their big thing. For the Hawkman monster, if I remember right, he can heal. So, none of them are overly powerful. Obviously, we can just kind of make our way through them. The biggest issue is that sleep from the sickly sweet breath. And there he actually got me. So once we get through these guys, we'll just make our way to the castle. Alright, so here we are at Tantegel Castle, and there's the Dragonlords Castle, also known as Sharlock Castle. First thing you should notice is that Breckenary Town was absorbed, so it actually was merged into the castle itself. Down here we have our favorite MP Restoring Sage. Some people recognize us as the descendants of the legendary hero. Um, Up there is the throne room. There's nothing we can do there. It's blocked by a gold key. So just keep going. This merchant here is going to further the story of the sunken treasure. So obviously we heard about it in Rippleport or Leonport, and now he's telling us that there should be a sparkle underneath an ocean wave. And with that, that just triggered something in the open world, where now if we go north of Rippleport, there will actually be a shining item in the ocean, and that'll be the sunken treasure. So you had to talk to that guy to get it. This sage just tells you come talk to him if you get cursed. Down here is the items shop, but up here is the weapons and armor shop. And if you come in, you'll notice that we have the new item, the sledgehammer, which is a nice plus 10 attack for the Prince of Midenhall. But instead, I'm actually going to take the iron helmet, just get that plus 6 defense for the Prince of Midenhall. And that is the first headgear of the game. Unfortunately, they added that in as a new item class, but really didn't do anything with it, which is upsetting. This guy's just going to talk to us about gold keys, and this guy's just going to tell us that the king has abandoned his post and his people. And let's go on into the Dragonlords Castle. So if you remember in the original one, this would have been the throne room, and we would have had to have taken a secret passageway behind the throne itself. In this case, the castle's decrepit, and you can just come on down. First couple of floors are single path. You can only go one direction, so that's okay. Just make your way down. Bear with me. Naturally, there's going to be a monster every 2 feet. So it's just going to be a lot of grinding again. Same thing with this floor, just make your way around the outer edge. And right there, that's the item that we're going to be going for. So close, yet so far. Some of the monsters down here can actually do a fair bit of damage to you if they hit you. Feel free to be a little bit more loose with your MP than you normally have been in the caves. Because after we get that item, we're actually just gonna, I'm going to cast evac, get out, heal, and then come back in. Because the actual goal of this castle is to make your way all the way down to the Dragonlord's throne from the original one. His descendant is actually down there waiting for us. But I'm first going to do the little side journey to get the legendary item. Alright, there's a level, decent stat boosts, just keep making our way up. Here's the Dragonfly, not to be confused with the Dragonfry. I hate these guys. Keep an eye on your HP at all times though. If you need to, feel free to back out, come back in. You obviously have the Tantegel Castle right there. No need to push it. And I just got a Banishing Bell, which is nice because now I can equip it and it prevents both Snooze and Fizzle. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the Prince of Canuck, since I can use him for both healing spells as well as attacking spells. Or I can just have him straight up attack using his normal weapon. Anyways, coming up this way, this is your first branch where you can go one of two directions. I'm actually going to make my way off to the left here. only thing I'm going to say is make sure that you keep enough MP to cast evac with the Prince of Canuck. As long as you have, you know, however many MP that is, I think it's like 6, you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and heal him up. And he did learn mid-heal, I think between the last video and this one, so that was a nice little game there. Alright, looks like we're getting another level. And it's the Prince of Canuck. Alright, nice stat boosts. Plain clothes. I'm just going to go ahead and heal. Alright, so this is another one where we have 3 options. I'm actually going to go to this this bottom one. And then I think from there it's single option floors. So you can't go wrong. Go ahead and take out the gremlin. The biggest fear at this point is that he puts all 3 people to sleep. At which point in time, the mummies could just do a heck of a lot of damage and take me out pretty quick. So that's why I preferenced or why I was given the gremlin preference for attacks. Alright, and now that we're out of this battle, I'm going to go ahead and heal everyone up again. Oh. Hate it when I do that. Alright, so we took the bottom right, and then like I said, it's a single path on up. Alright, so now that we defeated those guys, we can make our way through the stairwell, and it should pop us out at the legendary sword. So there we go. We got our first weapon of the legendary hero, Erdrick. So now that we've got the what was the legendary sword from the first game, cool thing is we can actually equip it on one of 2 different characters. So I'm going to take Erdrick's sword. You can get plus 10 for the Prince of Middenhall / Laurasia, or I can actually give it to the Prince of Canuck and give him a plus 20. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. The main reason is now I can go back to Tantegel Castle, and if I had enough gold, which clearly I don't, I need 4,000. The next item for the Prince of Middenhall is actually going to be that sledgehammer. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cast evac. Get on out of the castle. Come on up here. And go stay at the inn. If you notice, it's only 6 gold to heal up, which is really nice. Yeah, I guess I never mentioned the fact that as you got more characters, if you would have gone back to some of the inns that you'd already stayed in, it actually increases for each person that you have. So if you had one person, it costs 2. By the time you have 3 characters, it costs 6. So you can go ahead and save up at this guy here. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And we'll make our way back to the Dragonlords Castle. And then that'll end up, that'll finish this video. So again, the first couple floors, one direction, just keep going. There's only one place to go. It's mostly going to be walking along the outside of floors. Now that the Prince of Canuck has the Sword of Erdrick and can do a bit more damage, you can preference normal attacks with him as opposed to using magic if you want to save a little bit of MP. Helps just kind of clear out some of those groups there as well. Still not as strong as the Prince of Middenhall, but that's okay. Especially for things like this, I just want to make sure that that gremlin dies, because my biggest fear is all 3 members being put to sleep. So just get him off the map. I can now focus more of the Prince of Canuck's magic power on the healing. Use the Princess of Moonbrook for Whoosh, since that's a stronger spell than Sizz. And that's just kind of going to be my my fighting style going on through. Alright, so again, make your way along the outer edge of the floor. We got the Sword of Erdrick, so there's nothing else here. Whoosh is enough to kill both saber cats. Oh, that hurt. The amount of damage that it does varies so much, and that drives me crazy, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and heal after this battle. Oh, gaining a level. Very nice. And a new spell. Alright. Go ahead and heal up Prince of Canuck. Princess of Moonbrook. And we'll just keep on going. So there, her one whoosh spell just took out both the saber cats by doing, 20s, 22 and 28, I think it was, as opposed to, 14 like it did in the previous battle. Again, for this floor, even though you got the 2 options, we're actually going to go and take the same option that we did last time. So we're going to make our way to the far left side. There's another stairwell in the top right corner. Just ignore that. It just sends you in a circle. Eventually it'll pop out at the same place that we're going, but there's one extra step. 1 or 2 extra steps, but anyways. Alright, so if you remember from this floor, we took the bottom right stairs, these ones right here, to get to the Sword of Erdrick. Instead, this time we're actually going to go ahead and take these inner stairs. I'll just point out that top right stairwell, that's where you would have popped out if you'd have taken the stairs in the top right corner on that prior floor, as opposed to making your way all the way to the left. So we'll come here. It's just a giant U, similar to in the first game. And at this point, this should look extremely familiar, with the exception of you're not getting attacked by, you know, what is it, blue and red dragons, whatever they were at this point. Those guys were tough. Instead, we just get the the mummy boys. Not nearly as intimidating, but that's okay. All right, so we've made our way all the way down to the Dragonlord's lair, and as you can see, you know, it's the same sprite as the original one. The layout looks very similar. In this case, instead of you know, a couple different normal safe pathways, they actually threw on this extremely dangerous walking path. So just be careful. It's going to do a lot of damage to you as you're walking. So, you know, it just did 14 damage per step. So we'll go ahead and heal everyone up. So you'd hate to get stuck down here because you failed to heal, failed to pay attention. And it only impacts them while they're standing on the surface. So for example, once the Prince of Mendenhall steps off, he's good, but it'll continue to hurt the Princess of Moonbrook and the Prince of Canuck until they step off. Alright, so everyone's over, everyone's safe. I'm going to go ahead and grab these items. There's some gold. I think there's a seed of strength somewhere. There we go. And full plate armor. So in some of the versions, I think they actually gave you a world map here, but obviously for the Switch version, you know, we've been able to just press X and pull up the world map at any point in time. So got a nice bit of gold there. That full plate armor. Unfortunately, no one needs it at this point. It's actually a downgrade from the Cloak of Evasion. We're just going to sell that off. So now before I head on back over the Tiles of Doom, I want to make sure that I heal up. Yeah, I'll just do that. Make sure that you save at least enough MP on the Prince of Canuck to cast evac, and that's going to be the godsend to get on out of this place without having to fight your way back up all the way through the castle. I think it's what, 6 MP? Yeah. So at this point I'm just pretty much using Princess of Moonbrook to get me through this. Other than I will cast normal heal on her. So the constantly having to heal, it is a royal pain, but you know, getting over 1,000 gold, if that's worth it to you, which it was for me, go ahead. Otherwise, you can just skip that and just go straight to the throne over there. Alright, and I don't believe we'll have any encounters on this floor. I may be mistaken, but I think we can just walk safely. And the fact that we haven't been in 17 battles by now shows that that's the case. Alright, so here we have the Dragonlord's great-great-grandson, Master of Master, King of Kings. Um, and turns out in this game, he's actually not such a bad guy. He also actually happens to hate Hargon. So sort of like in the first game, he asks us a question. Only difference is in this one, if we agree to it, it doesn't result in us getting half the world and then being killed. He's actually going to give us some really important information for the rest of this game. So he's introducing us to the idea of the 5 sigils. We need to get these 5 sigils so that we can get the protection of our mistress. In this case, that's the goddess Rubis. So here he's telling us that once we gather those 5 sigils, we take them to the shrine, and once we do that, we will get some blessing that'll help us in our path to get to the land of Hargon. And with that, just going to come back here, heal up. I'm going to purchase that sledgehammer. I already talked to this merchant here, so that should have activated the sunken treasure on the open world. And so in the next video, we're going to go ahead and get the sunken treasure itself, and then I'll also start off on the path for the sigils themselves. So stay tuned. If you want, by all means, feel free to start exploring the world. You can go in whatever order. I'll mark all of the videos so that you can tell what the focus is. So for example, if there's a specific sigil I'm going for, or a specific item or town, so you can just kind of jump around as you need to. But with that, thanks for watching, and see you next time.